Welcome back to The Explainer. Today, we are taking a hard look at the psychology behind the law of attraction. So often this topic gets framed as pure magic or honestly just wishful thinking, like you can just slap a vision board on your wall and wait for $1 million to drop right into your lap. Well, the source material we're diving into today completely shatters that idea. Instead, it totally grounds the whole process in hard neuroscience, emotional control, and behavioral psychology. So we're going to break down how to stop passively waiting around for your life to change and how to start actively constructing a brand new reality, literally from the inside out. Let's get into it. Okay, here is our roadmap for today. We're looking at 1. The truth about the law of attraction. 2. How perception creates reality. 3. Emotions as fuel. 4. Action and belief. 5. Synchronizing yourself. And finally, number 6, the power of persistence. So, part 1, the truth about the law of attraction. We've got to start by completely dismantling the biggest myths surrounding this whole concept. There is just a massive divide between fiction and reality here. You've got the myth on one side, the one so many of us fall into, right? Sitting still, closing your eyes, and just waiting for the universe to hand you a prize. But the reality is completely different. The universe doesn't actually reward idle daydreaming. It responds exclusively to people who actively transform their internal state. It's really this comprehensive process of taking your thoughts, turning them into emotional energy, and then funneling that exact energy into concrete physical action. Because at the end of the day, there are really two types of people: those who sit around waiting for a miracle, and those who take control of their mindset to become the active cause of their own change. Why hasn't my life changed? Man, there is so much profound frustration behind that question. And if you've ever found yourself asking it, the answer isn't about changing your luck at all. It's about radically shifting the focus of your mind. You see, life always expands on whatever you give your energy to. So if you're constantly focused on your problems, guess what? Your brain is just going to find more problems. The folks who break out of this trap are the ones who ask a much, much more powerful question. They ask, what do I need to change within myself to actually achieve that life? Moving on to part 2, perception creates reality. Let's look at how all this builds deep within your subconscious. Now, this is where it gets really fascinating. Neuroscience proves that repeated thoughts create strong neural pathways. This means that swapping out a thought like, I'm not good enough, for I'm growing every day, isn't just, self-help fluff or toxic positivity. It is literal brain science. Your brain basically acts as a filter. If you fundamentally believe you're a failure, your brain will subconsciously scan your environment for evidence to prove you right. But if you actively train your brain to expect success, it physically rewires itself. Suddenly, you start spotting the opportunities, the open doors, and the right people that were literally sitting there the entire time. So the crucial takeaway here is this reality pipeline. Step 1, your repeated thoughts. When you repeat them enough, they harden into firm beliefs, which is step 2. Then, those deeply rooted subconscious beliefs dictate your emotions at step 3, determining whether you're feeling energized or just totally anxious. And finally, those emotions drive the physical actions, step 4, that actually build the life you're living right now. You literally cannot change your life at step 4 without fixing the pipeline all the way back at step 1. It's all connected. Which brings us to part 3, emotions as fuel. Because thoughts are really just the architectural blueprints. To actually construct the life you want, we need fuel. Think about it. You can have all the positive thoughts in the world, but if they aren't backed by deep, genuine emotion, absolutely nothing happens. Emotions are the engine. Just look at elite athletes. Before they ever step out onto the field, they visualize the win, right? But more importantly, they feel the win. They feel the adrenaline, the roar of the crowd, that pure joy of victory. Because here's the crazy part. Your brain actually cannot distinguish between a real physical event and an intensely imagined emotional state. Plus, practicing gratitude physically shifts your emotional frequency from the state of I don't have enough right into a state of total abundance, actively pulling those corresponding realities towards you. All right, part 4, action and belief. Now we're transitioning from those internal feelings right out into the physical world, which is where the true test of your belief takes place. Action is the indispensable bridge. Honestly, this is where the law of attraction gets the most misunderstood. You can't just chill on the couch, feel grateful, and wait for inspiration to magically strike. You have to act as if you already have what you desire. Let's say you want a healthy body. You don't just wait around to feel motivated. You start acting like a healthy person today. It means making bold decisions based on absolute certainty rather than desperation, all while letting go of that obsessive need to control exactly how or when those opportunities are going to show up. This right here is powerful. You do not attract what you want, you attract the version of the person you need to become. I really want you to burn this quote into your memory because it anchors our entire journey. You simply don't attract your wants. I mean, everybody wants things, right? You attract the exact version of the person you have built yourself to be. Success isn't something you endlessly chase, it's something you naturally attract by upgrading your internal identity to a level that can actually hold on to that success. Part 5. Synchronizing yourself. Let's look at how we actually become that required person through a concept of total, uncompromising synchronization. So there are 3 main pillars to this synchronization. First up, identity, who you truly believe you are at your absolute core. Second, habits, what you actually do every single day. And third, environment, who and what you surround yourself with. Look, if you claim to want massive success, but you're keeping the daily habits of a procrastinator and surrounding yourself with people who constantly complain, well, that internal contradiction is going to act like a brick wall. It will literally repel the very goals you're chasing. You have to intentionally design your environment and your habits so they effortlessly support your new identity. No friction, just pure alignment. And finally, part 6, the power of persistence. This is the ultimate test of any meaningful goal. And frankly, it's the phase where the vast majority of people just give up. There's this specific growth timeline that becomes a massive trap for so many of us. Day 1, super exciting, you're planting the seed. But then you hit the 2-week mark, and this is the silent phase. This is where the roots are growing deep underground in the dark. But on the surface, it looks like absolutely nothing is happening. It can be so painful. But during the silent phase, when there are 0 visible results, you have to remember that seed. Because if you get impatient, start doubting the whole process, and stop watering it, you are literally killing the transformation right before it breaks the surface at that 3-month mark. You really have to learn to love the process, not just obsess over the result. And you know, the silent phase is exactly what builds our resilience. Obstacles are not punishments. We have got to completely reframe failure as necessary preparation. Think about it. If you were just handed massive wealth or an incredible opportunity today, would you genuinely have the discipline, the emotional maturity, and the character to actually keep it? Honestly, probably not. The obstacles, the rejections, the delays, that is the universe's gym. You won't be handed a massive opportunity if your character isn't strong enough to carry it. The pushback is the preparation. So I'm going to leave you with this final provocative thought for today. Are you attracting what you desire, or are you accidentally attracting what you fear? Because make no mistake, either way, the mechanism is working. Take a really hard look at your current habits, your daily focus, and your emotional energy, and ask yourself which reality you are actively building right now. Thanks so much for joining me on this explainer. The power is entirely in your hands, so go out and start synchronizing those thoughts, emotions, and actions today. Catch you next time.